Now with our 2014 commencement address, Christiana Figueres, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know how anybody does this without crying. I certainly don't promise to. Members of the Board of Trustees, President Carrette, top cheerleader Motley, Provost Langley, distinguished faculty and staff, families and friends, and above all, the fantastic class of 2014. Now, I am sure that I can speak for Dick, for Mel, for Mr. Wu, and of course for myself in thanking you for this true honor of joining you. But above all, let me say, it is not an honor, it is really deeply moving to be here and celebrate the triumph of the human spirit. Thank you for sharing that with us today. Now, there are thousands of us here today, and I'm delighted to see you all. But for me, there is one person missing, and that would be my grandfather, who time and time again asked me to do what you have done, walk down the path of a real PhD. Now, fortunately, I do know that his very loving nature would have forgiven me for getting here on a much less meritorious alternative way. His daughter and my daughters are here today. If what's up could transcend earthly boundaries, I would send him a photograph of all of us here together today. Grandparents in the crowd and elsewhere, your joy is deeply felt. Now, friends, this is my second commencement speech. I had asked the class that I addressed the first time to please let me know if they thought that should be my last commencement speech. Apparently, I gave them the wrong email address because here I am again. Today is a day of many celebrations, and may I congratulate UMass Boston for 50 years of excellence. It is quite a feat to open doors on a piece of land that wasn't exactly the highest real estate value, just a few feet above sea level, in the midst of the civil rights movement and urban unrest, and today to be the most diverse public research university in New England, with exceptional faculty, students from 141 countries, with innovative research leading the academic world in so many fields. Beacons of Boston, I salute you. And now to the real stars of the day, the class of 2014. I see several thousand caps and gowns here, a fantastic sight. But more than caps and gowns, I see thousands of agents of choice. Now, before I utter my next thought, I would like to inform you that this year, there are 150,000 commencement speeches in the United States, 2,000 of them here in Boston. Now, granted, many of these range all the way from postdoc to kindergarten graduations. But what they have in common, all of these speeches, is that they call for the higher purpose. They call all of the graduates to stand up and be counted in one way or another. And so here is our big idea today. There is no greater power than the power of choice. It is choice that defines the quality of your life, in fact, your very life. Seems like a simple thought, doesn't it? It is so simple that it amazes me how often I have to learn and relearn. And in fact, I must admit that I don't even remember it on a daily basis. But if you grasp this very simple truth and act on it, you will be the masters of the greatest challenge, yourselves. Now, up to this point, many of your decisions have had a lot or a little, but certainly some external help. As we have heard today already with very moving stories, your parents may have chosen to support you and your studies over other more obvious pleasures for themselves. Your peers may have influenced you toward a particular class, a particular sport, a particular life partner, perhaps. Your professors may have chosen to not take a better paying job because they wanted the joy of teaching you. So one could say that in one way or another, you have been pushed, pulled, and prodded into the seats that you occupy today. However, as of today, your decisions become much more your own. You will be called upon to make choices at the personal level, at the public level, and yes, at the planetary level. You could see them, in fact, as a ladder of choices, where one rung is actually interconnected with the others. So to begin with the most immediate rung at the personal level. Today, you are celebrating not just this morning, but I certainly hope and trust well into the night. Now, not all days are going to be like today. As we have just heard in such moving fashion from Sean, you will be knocked down by life, by events big or small. And you have a choice. Either you stay on the floor and lick your wounds, or you stand up, you learn from the hit, and you grow stronger. That choice defines who you are. Today, you are being congratulated by all you know. Tomorrow, you will be criticized by some, betrayed or deeply hurt by one you love. You have a choice. You can react out of anger or maybe even revenge. Or you can choose to take the high road, knowing that we all carry pain and sadness, and that everyone needs our patience and our compassion. That choice defines how you walk the path of life. On the next level of the ladder, we find your public engagement, about the way that you choose to engage with other fellow citizens, about your public persona. Now, today, you may or may not know what you're going to do tomorrow. If you already do, fantastic. If you don't panic. The fact is, we all discover our path one step at a time. In the end, what career you choose, what skills you develop to put at the service of others, is far less important than making those intentional choices based on your commitment to discover the fullness of yourself. That choice marks the depth with which you engage in the world. And that takes me to the top ladder, the planetary ladder. That is where you choose what kind of planet you're going to have, what kind of planet you want to leave to those who will be graduating decades after you. Now you may say, whoa, 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 that's not a choice that I want or even need to take. That sounds like a bit much for right this morning. Well, I am here to tell you that by now, that choice is unavoidable. Class of 2014, right now, at this very moment, mankind is deciding what kind of a planet you and your children are going to have, what kind of a world you're going to live in. And you know what? You have a say in that decision. There are two paths in front of us. One, the path of rising temperatures, rising insecurity, rising sea levels, and rising economic instability. The other, a path of stability where environmental integrity and sustainability allows for growth and prosperity. Now, of course, I'm talking about our response to climate change. And I am sure that most of you had to Google my name when you were walking here this morning on some of your very smartphones to find out who on earth is behind that very weird name on my program today. So by now, it shouldn't be a surprise that I'm talking about climate change, but it may be a surprise to you that climate change is no longer a threat. It is your new reality. The last time I was on this gorgeous campus, I talked about climate change being a wicked problem. I assure you that it has become no less of a wicked problem. Science is clear and ever more sobering. We have a very, very limited time to transition to low-carbon growth path. The bending of greenhouse gas emissions curve has to be done within this decade, globally, and globally we must get to carbon neutrality by the second half of the century. A very tall order from where we are today. Now, the good news is that increasing numbers of people are actually realizing that if we make the right choices in a timely fashion, we can construct a world with clean energy, with sustainable growth, and a world where opportunities abound. Collectively, we can choose that future. And individually, dear graduates, you will be asked to make choices along the three rungs of the ladder. At the personal level, you can be much more aware of your carbon footprint, a very high footprint if you live in this country. And you would be surprised about the results. By eating consciously, eliminating food waste, or becoming vegetarian, you can do a lot for your health and for the health of the planet. By walking, biking, using public transportation, and very soon, thanks to Mr. Wu, using low or zero emission vehicles, you can do a lot for the planet, and in a fun way. Voting. Now, voting for government leaders that actually believe in science and technology seems to be a rather novel concept in this country, so I will leave that for you to discover the benefits. But please do remember that every purchase you make is a vote in the mega financial system. And that system, in no small measure, is running the world. Now, at the public level, there are also many choices. Most of those revolve around where your careers are going to take you. So if you are to become doctors, lawyers, investors, politicians, good politicians, business leaders, good business leaders, you are going to be confronted, without a doubt, with the already unavoidable impacts of climate change. I ask you to put your weight behind ambitious and responsible solutions, because there are many. So to envision what those are, let's think about this university as a mini model of a country. Just imagine this campus with unlimited energy from the wind, the sun, and the tides. That is possible. You can make it happen. Just imagine Campus Center and the new science complex producing all the energy that it needs and learning how to maximize your comfort by understanding your collective creature habits. Just imagine energy being harvested personally, freeing you from all those mess of cables and chargers that we all walk around with, except, of course, the cable to charge your car. Now, you can either help develop those technologies, or as consumers, you can and you should demand them. Think of cities where buildings are going to be engineered to catch water, grow food, generate electricity, and produce biofuels. It is happening elsewhere. Make it happen here. And above all, and most importantly perhaps, imagine a world where no woman has to cook on an open fire stove. Imagine a world where everyone, all the billions of people around the world who have no electricity, do have clean energy, all the energy that they want, and that is opening the door toward their well-being and their pursuit of opportunities. Now, all of those choices, whether you make them at the private or at the public level, all of those choices are also planetary choices, because what you as a generation buy, what you eat, how you get around, how you choose to exercise your profession, how you choose to exercise your power as a consumer, how you choose to vote. All of those are fundamentally planetary choices, because the implications ripple across economies and certainly across the social networks that affect change. Now, if that is not enough at the planetary level, I invite you to join me and many other women and men who are working on this issue as a global policy challenge. At that level, you would be helping to bring 194 completely unique countries to a common and urgent task. I assure you, it is a job with practically no sleep, but that is a skill that you have practiced and perfected. I think you can take the job. Graduates, whatever career path you choose, whoever you're going to live with, wherever you're going to live, you will live with the reality of a changing climate and all of its social and economic consequences. If each of us makes the right choices now, you will be able to manage the consequences. You will enjoy an exciting world of fantastic technology. We will all enjoy a world of well-being in the global South. And we will all feel all the better for it. If collectively we make all the right choices now, we will increase stability and prosperity for all. That is the world we want, and that is the world to choose. So, class of 2014, as you leave Campus Center lawn today, may you remember that you have the greatest power of all. And that power determines who you are, how you engage in the world, and what kind of a world you are going to have. Do not take that power lightly. Claim your power of choice at all levels, private, public, and planetary. Many of those choices, I warn you, are going to be difficult. Many of them will require courage. Many of them will call for your higher sense of purpose and determination, but all of them determine the quality of your life, of those around you, and of those after you. And by the way, while you're out there on your wonderful adventure saving the world, don't forget to have fun. Believe you me, life is much more enjoyable if you laugh at yourself and have daily laughs. Thank you.
Christiana Figueres, thank you.